Hey folks, welcome to Shooting Up North. I'm your host, Lewis Carlin. We're heard right here on the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. Thank you so much for joining me today. Before I get started, I want to give a shout out to four of our newest subscribers to our YouTube channel: Eric Scott, Michael Fouts, Justin Abramowitz, and WWE Fan 7666. One more time: Eric Scott, Michael Fouts, Justin Abramowitz, and WWE Fan 7666. Thank you so much for subscribing to the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network YouTube channel. I really appreciate it. Very grateful. Thank you very much. Okay, I didn't know this. I guess I'm a little late on this news. And lots of you might already know it. And but I just was reading some news today, and I came across the article, and I didn't know that this actually took place. But if you remember, Will Ospreay was scheduled to make his MLW debut. It was supposed to be actually November 6th at the 2300 Arena, but I didn't know New Japan Pro Wrestling pulled him. I didn't know that. So New Japan Pro Wrestling pulled Will Ospreay from appearing for MLW. I know. I think they wanted Ospreay to be on the MLW of Mexico tour, where I think AAA stars were going to be on the show, and New Japan Pro Wrestling, where they have a working agreement with CMLL, which is AAA's rival promotion in Mexico. So they wouldn't allow Will Ospreay to appear on that show as well. So they pulled him. I didn't know that they pulled him, and I apologize. I should kept on top of that. But they pulled Will Ospreay from the MLW shows. They announced it once, and then we really didn't hear anything else about it. I haven't seen every episode. Maybe they advertised it on one of their YouTube shows, but I don't. I didn't really hear much about it after that. And I was wondering, and New Japan Pro Wrestling pulled them. They pulled them from the shows. So now you have to think they pulled them from the shows from MLW, which means I think this kind of opens the door now. You can people say, he's going to show up in AEW, but this opens the door for Impact Wrestling. This opens the door for Impact Wrestling to swoop in there and say, okay, can we get Will Ospreay for a set of tapings? I mean, New Japan Pro Wrestling has a working agreement, has a working relationship with Impact Wrestling. It's a good working relationship. Impact Wrestling stars are now appearing on big New Japan Pro Wrestling strong shows in the States, and sooner or later we're going to see some Impact Wrestling stars out in Japan once this whole COVID travel restriction crap is over. I'm pretty sure we're going to see. I'm about 99.9% sure we're going to see a number of Impact Wrestling stars over in Japan competing. But this opens the door for Impact Wrestling. They should be on the phone right now, and they very well may be to get Will Ospreay in. Now I know Will Ospreay is head of the United Empire. I would love to see the entire United Empire come into Impact Wrestling. I don't know if Jeff Cobb can. I think he might be under contract. I don't know. Maybe he could, maybe he can. I'm not sure. But I would love to see Will Ospreay. I know TJP. They took his Impact Wrestling took his name off, took his page off their. Actually, they took his picture down, I should say, from their roster page on their website. So I don't know what his status is with Impact Wrestling, but I don't think it would be on bad terms. But I would love to see like Ospreay, TJP, Aaron Hanare, who is a huge talent in Japan, come into Impact Wrestling as a faction for like one set of tapings would be great. Even if they can't get all three, just Will Ospreay showing up as a surprise and getting into a stare down with Moose, both holding their titles in the air. Ospreay is the self-proclaimed IWGP Heavyweight Champion. He's not really the champion is Shingo Takagi. He's the IWGP heavyweight champion, but Will Ospreay carries that belt. Said he never lost the belt, so he calls himself the IWGP heavyweight championship. But I would love to see a stare down between Moose and Will Ospreay. I think that would be fantastic, even if they could set up a match between the two somehow. I know you don't want Moose to lose. You don't want Will Ospreay to lose. It could end in a double disqualification or whatever. Or Will Ospreay could take the loss to Moose. who knows? You know, Moose, one of the best in the world, be a big win for Moose. And then if Moose goes to Japan, then Will Ospreay could get the win back over in Japan. But this is a golden opportunity. I mean, well, you got AEW teasing Kazuchika Okada, one of the best, absolute best wrestlers in the world. They just had Tomohiro Ishii, one of the best wrestlers in the world, in my opinion, as well. And they actually blew his appearance. They kind of downplayed his appearance, in my opinion. But well, I'm not going to go into it. But they should have given him a lot more than being in a tag team with Orange Cassidy. But not gonna go into it. But those are big names appearing on AEW. This is Impact's opportunity. You know, Will Ospreay is going to be facing the winner of Takagi and Okada at Wrestle Kingdom on the next night. Wrestle Kingdom is 2 nights. So night one, Okada will be facing Shingo Takagi for his IWGP Heavyweight Championship, and whoever wins is going to face Will Ospreay the next night. And whoever comes out the winner of that will be of course, the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. But I would love to see a set of tapings, Will Ospreay, especially if he's not showing up for MLW now. New Japan Pro Wrestling pulling him. They wouldn't pull him from Impact Wrestling. I'm sure Impact Wrestling can negotiate an appearance with Will Ospreay. They need a major star right now. Impact Wrestling needs a major star from New Japan Pro Wrestling to show up, because again, AEW, of course, that's the in promotion right now. That's the hot promotion. So everyone wants to get signed by AEW. Anytime someone's released, it's like AEW is going to sign them. I mean, you have people on social media saying that AEW is going to sign every single Ring of Honor free agent. You know, there was either a false report that was going out that Tony Khan signed like 10 Ring of Honor free agents, which is totally bullcrap. He didn't do that. But we saw Jay Lethal showing up there. Jay Lethal now is part of the roster. The Briscoes were rumored to be backstage or said to be backstage last night at Dynamite. Then of course, you know, Okada. So it seems to be that everyone is saying that's the hip promotion. And I would like Impact Wrestling to jump in there and get a top star from New Japan Pro Wrestling, because right now you got Hikuleo. They don't really have a top star from appearing. You got Hikuleo, you got El Phantasmo, who's fantastic, by the way. El Phantasmo, we saw Jay White recently. They had Satoshi Kojima. But they haven't had that top New Japan Pro Wrestling star. Minoru Suzuki actually taking on Josh Alexander tonight should be a great one. I think they kind of misused Minoru Suzuki as well. I don't want to go into that either. I might do a separate podcast on that. Just want to watch the match tonight, see how the match is. But so far, in my opinion, they've kind of misused Minoru Suzuki. I don't think they should have wasted Minoru Suzuki against Caleb with a K. But I thought that was a bit of a waste. But I'm going to watch the match tonight, and then I might do a whole podcast on it. But back to what I was saying, they need to get a top New Japan Pro Wrestling star, and if they could get Will Ospreay to appear for a taping or 2 sets of tapings, I think that would be fantastic. So many potentially great matchups for Will Ospreay. As I said, he can take on one-on-one against Moose. There's Eddie Edwards. There's Josh Alexander. I think Ospreay against Steve Macklin will be a great match. You got Will Ospreay against Rich Swann, I think will be absolutely fantastic. So you got a lot of really good potential matchups there for Will Ospreay, and I'm hoping, you know, maybe Scott D'Amore is going to take advantage of New Japan Pro Wrestling pulling Will Ospreay from MLW and getting him on a few set of tapings. Because if Will Ospreay agreed to be on MLW, he agreed to be a part of MLW, why wouldn't he agree to be a part of Impact Wrestling? You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying there? If he agreed, if he said, okay, I'll be on MLW only to get pulled from New Japan Pro Wrestling, why wouldn't he agree to be on Impact Wrestling? You know, I mean, there's really, I think there's potentially better matchups for Will Ospreay in Impact Wrestling than MLW. Yeah, of course, MLW, you could Jacob Fatu, Hammerstone. You have Myron Reed possibly as an opponent, but I think he's got better matchups in Impact Wrestling, and I would love to see him. I think everybody watching right now agrees with me. I would love to see Will Ospreay make an appearance, or two, or three, or four in Impact Wrestling. I think it's very possible. Just Scott D'Amore needs to get on the phone and talk to New Japan Pro Wrestling, and maybe they could work something out. Maybe they could have. I think it would be just a tremendous. I think they could be in like in a 5,000 seat arena if the main event on one of their upcoming pay-per-views was Moose defending the Impact Wrestling title against Will Ospreay. I think there would be such a buzz behind that match. There would be tremendous interest in that match. And like I said, I think they could sell out a 2, 3, 4, even 5,000 seat arena based on that match alone. So Scott D'Amore, let's let's make it happen, man. Let's make it happen. Okay, Speedball Mike Bailey. Speedball Mike Bailey is set to make his debut for Impact Wrestling very, very soon. There's no date set. I'm hoping very, very soon. But I was thinking, and this is just me fantasy booking right now. How cool would it be if Speedball Mike Bailey won the X Division Championship in his first match? How cool would that be? Speedball Mike Bailey, one of the best talents, formerly on the indie scene, now with Impact Wrestling, and he's about to blow up. Eddie Edwards in a interview said that the sky's the limit. I don't remember the exact words that he said, but basically the sky's the limit for Speedball Mike Bailey. Tremendous talent. How cool would it be? How much buzz would be behind Speedball Mike Bailey if Speedball Mike Bailey won the X Division Championship in his first match? What if Trey Miguel had an open challenge answered by Speedball Mike Bailey, and Mike Bailey wins the X Division Championship? I think that would be fantastic, absolutely fantastic, and I'm all for that. Again, it's just fantasy booking on my behalf. And when you think about if that's probably not going to happen, so then you think, who would be his first opponents? Who would be the first opponent for Speedball Mike Bailey? Because he's going to win his first match. He's not going to lose his first match. He better not lose his first match. I think Impact Wrestling needs to build Speedball Mike Bailey up just immediately. I think his first match could be against Rohit Raju. Speedball Mike Bailey coming out for an interview in the ring, and it's into Rohit Raju comes out to interfere, challenges him to a match, and Speedball Mike Bailey defeats Rohit Raju, which would be a terrific match. You also got the Laredo Kid, I think, against Speedball Mike Bailey would be a great match. Rich Swann, I think, would be a great opponent. Josh Alexander and Speedball Mike Bailey just had a tremendous match for Destiny Wrestling. That's the match. After that match, actually, that's when Speedball Mike Bailey was signed to Impact Wrestling. So there's a lot of potential. Steve Macklin will be a terrific first opponent for Ace Austin. Ace Austin's another potential first opponent for Speedball Mike Bailey as well. But I like my fantasy booking. Idea. I like the idea of Speedball Mike Bailey winning the X Division Championship in his first match. And that's my idea. Unfortunately, I'm not on the booking committee, so it just remains fantasy booking. But I think that'd be a great idea. I think he would get over. He's going to get over immediately anyway. But I think him winning the X Division Championship in his first match, I think would really open eyes, and people will really start following Speedball Mike Bailey. But they're going to do it anyway. Because he's a tremendous talent. I mean, the WWE wanted him. It didn't work out. That's their loss. He's with Impact Wrestling now, and I can't wait for Speedball Mike Bailey to get started with Impact Wrestling. And if somehow I'm hired by Impact Wrestling to be on their booking committee, to be the head booker, I'm booking Speedball Mike Bailey to defeat whoever the X Division champion is, whether it's going to be Trey Miguel, but I have a feeling it would be if he doesn't show up on this set of tapings, and it's the next set of tapings, but the first set in 2022, I think Steve Macklin's going to be the X Division champion. So whether it's Trey Miguel or Steve Macklin, or whoever it is, I would book if I get hired to be the head booker for Impact Wrestling between now and Speedball Mike Bailey's debut. I'm going to book Speedball Mike Bailey to win the X Division Championship in his first match. Okay, so Speedball Mike Bailey, I got you, man. I got you, man. I got you, Speedball. I'm going to put that title. I'm going to put that title on you, Speedball. I'm putting that belt around your waist because you deserve it, man. All right, man. Okay, so I'll be back tomorrow. Just want to watch Impact Wrestling tonight. I'm thinking about doing a preview and predictions for Turning Point. Either gonna do that tomorrow or on Saturday. But I'll be back. If anything major late breaks, I'll be back later tonight. But I'll be back tomorrow with something. Love doing this, and I'm glad everybody's watching. And again, I really appreciate everyone hitting that subscribe button. So until I'm back, thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye. Stay safe, everyone. So long. Bye-bye.